All right, my friend, I'm not going to give you 5 or 10. I'm going to give you 17 different business credit score hacks that you can use to get really high business credit scores. I'm not sure where you're at in the series, but I want you to go back on my page and look at the rest of these videos for this series so that you can really implement and get the best results. So hack number 1. We're going to start off a little slow, but I need you, if you want to get business credit, you want to go and get your DUNS number. So I know that seems kind of basic, but a lot of people don't have it and don't know how to get it. What you need to do is go to dnb.com and you want to see if you have a DUNS number already. You want to look up your business and see if you're on there. If you don't have a DUNS number, you can get it for free on the same website. After you get that, you also want to get set up with Experian Business and Equifax Business. You'll go on their website, search for your business and see if you can find it. If not, you want to put in information and see if you can find yourself on there. And a lot of times you probably won't be on Experian or Equifax because you don't have any business credit at all. And once you get your DUNS number, you need to get at least 3 payment experiences for you to get a payday score. Payday score is pretty easy to get. So when people say, yeah, you can buy this company, or yeah, I can help you to get an 80 payday score, 80 payday score is not really that hard to get. So I want you to really focus in with me, build the foundation with me, and it's going to help you to get better credit scores in the future. Hack number 2, give your business financials to Dun & Bradstreet. And the reason why you want to give your financials to Dun & Bradstreet is because they have what they call the DMB Composite Credit Appraisal. And it's a scoring system that ranges from number 1 to number 4, so it's really short. If DMB doesn't have your financials on file, then you won't be able to get higher than a 2. Now this is important because it kind of determines your credit worthiness. Kind of similar to like on the personal side, if you have a 500 credit score, lenders are going to say that you're not really credit worthy. So on the business side, Dun & Bradstreet is going to say that you're not really credit worthy because they don't have enough information to verify that. So when you give them those details, your financials, you plug in that information, they're going to be able to give you a higher rating because now they can see some type of information on you to be able to determine how worthy you are credit-wise. So with their composite credit analysis, they also look at a few other things. They look at your public records, they look at your company payments, they look at your business age, and they look at a few other things. So there's a lot of different things that go into that score that determines that credit worthiness. So you want to give them as much as you can so that whenever somebody does look at your business profile and they look at your business credit scores and they look at Dun & Bradstreet, then they'll be able to see that you're a little more credit worthy because you just have more information with them. Another thing they do is they have other scoring models too as well that can give you like a 1R, a 2R, or ER. And what that just means is that they really don't have enough information to go off on the financial side, so they just use what they have. It could talk about the amount of employees you have, and it's better to give them your financial information because then they really have something to go on when they give you the score. All right, my friends, so we just still getting cranked up with this series. I hope you find some value in it. This is hack number 3. So I want you to go and get your BIN number from Experian. No, not your EIN, your BIN number from Experian. It's a business identification number. So a lot of times people don't even know what that is. They never heard of it. But your business identification number is a number that Experian gives every business, and it keeps track of your business information over time. So if you go through like multiple business names, it's going to show up on your BIN. Whenever somebody looks that up, when a lender or somebody looks up at the BIN number, it's going to have all the different names, the addresses. It's going to have a lot of that information on there. So I want you to keep that profile as clean as possible. I want you to get that report from Experian if you can, and I want you to clean it up if you can. So I want you to send them letters, give them a phone call and say, hey, this information is not accurate, because I want you to keep that BIN number, the information in there, as clean as possible. So whenever somebody else pulls your business credit profile or they pull your BIN number and the details on it, they're not going to see a million different names and a million different addresses. They're only going to see one name, one address, or 2 names if you did a name change, 2 addresses, the bare minimum. We don't want to have a lot of different stuff on that, because once you start getting too many different names and addresses, it's kind of like the personal side. They're going to start feeling like, well, why are you changing so many different things? Although businesses change names, they change industries, they change addresses, it'll make you seem a lot less trustworthy because you have so many different names. It's like they're going to look at it and be like, well, we have all these addresses. How do we really get in touch with you? If you default, how do we really find you? What's your real business name? What's your real name? A lot of that stuff is going to be a big factor whenever they think about giving you funding, and they're looking at your profile to see if they want to give you funding, if they want to give you a lower amount. All of that stuff matters. So go get your BIN number from Experian. All right, my friend, hack number 4 is going to be to get 3 accounts reporting to Dun & Bradstreet. The reason why you want to do that is because if you don't have at least 3 to 5 accounts reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, you will not have a payday score. So look, I know we starting off slow, but a lot of people do not know this information. There's so many times I get on these phone calls and people just do not know these little small details that they have to have in order to build their business credit profile, let alone get a strong profile. So you want to get 3 accounts reporting. It could take 30 days to 90 days, depending on the type type of account that you get or which account you get, you could have an 80 paydex score in like 30 to 90 days. So when you see people online saying we can help you to get an 80 paydex score, it's really not that important. Don't believe the hype. It's just probably 3 accounts, 4 accounts reporting to Dun & Bradstreet. You really want to have a strong business credit profile. Another thing, when you go on YouTube and Facebook, you want to make sure that the people that's telling you which accounts to get, ask them what business credit reporting agency do those accounts report to, because you don't want to just get a whole bunch of accounts and none of them report to Dun & Bradstreet, or they only report to one bureau. So you want to get 3 accounts that report to Dun & Bradstreet. Uline is a good place to start. All right, my friend, hack number 5. We're starting to speed up a little bit now in this little series. So hack number 5 is going to be to get accounts that report to 1 or more business credit bureaus. So on the last video, I talked about getting 3 accounts that report to Dun & Bradstreet, but you really want to have accounts that report to all 3 business credit bureaus: Experian Business, Equifax Business, and Dun & Bradstreet. There's also Credit Safe as well. So you want to get accounts that report to all 3 of them, at least those 3, because more payment experiences on your credit profile helps to increase your scores a lot better. So all 3 bureaus are similar to the personal credit bureaus as well. If you have an account that reports only to TransUnion, then you only get credit for it on TransUnion. If you have an account that only reports to Dun & Bradstreet, then you only get credit for it on Dun & Bradstreet. So you want to find accounts that report to all 3 bureaus, because it's going to build all 3 of those scores up. And the more accounts you have, the higher your scores are going to be. If you don't have enough accounts on Experian or Equifax, for instance, you'll actually get a failing score. So when someone pulls your business credit report, they'll see an F because you don't have enough accounts reporting. The first thing they're going to think of is, if you don't have any accounts reporting, your score is just kind of like on a personal side, you have a thin profile, or your profile is just not strong enough. So you want to have accounts that report to multiple different business credit bureaus. And just to clarify, I mentioned a payment experience. So what that means is just that someone sends you an invoice, you pay that invoice, and that's a payment experience or payment history on your business credit profile. That's how business credit is built. It's built off of payment history. So you have to get as many payment history or payment experiences as possible on your business credit profile. And that's going to help you to get your scores higher. Business credit hack number 6. I want you to pay your invoices early. So like we talked about previously, if you get an invoice from Uline, or let's say if you get an item from Uline and then you pay it back too early and they didn't invoice you, it will not report under your business credit profile because you just paid it back too early. So what you want to do, you have to wait for them to send you an invoice. The invoice is going to have a due date on it. You want to pay that invoice back like 10 or 15 days later. You want to pay it back 10 or 15 days before the due date, because the earlier you pay it back, you don't want to pay it back too early, but the earlier you pay it back, the higher your business credit scores are going to shoot, because business credit is built off of payment history, how well you pay your invoices, how your business manages its finances when it comes to your payment history. Paying your invoices early will give you an 80 payday score, which is pretty good. It also can give you a 90 Equifax credit score. And you also have to worry about what's called an SBSS score. If you're looking to get an SBA loan, your SBSS score is a mixture of your personal credit and your business credit. And if you're going to SBA and your SBSS score is 140 or less, it will probably deny you. And sometimes the cutoff can be as high as 160. So if you have less than a 160 on your SBSS score, then the SBA lender might not even send your application in, just because your business credit profile is too thin. You're going to be considered very high risk. The hack number 7 is going to be, you want to keep your existing balances or your outstanding balances low. Now look, I understand you're looking for business funding because you don't really want to worry about utilization, which that's 100% fine. Nothing's wrong with that. A lot of times your utilization will not matter, but on accounts that do report, although it's not necessary, it's not 100% necessary for you to keep your balances low. If your account does report to Experian, IntelliScore does calculate your outstanding balances as well. So if you keep your balances low, your IntelliScore with Experian is going to be a little bit higher. So it could help you to get higher scores, but it's not 100% necessary, especially like on business credit cards. Nobody's looking for your utilization on business credit cards most of the time. And this kind of goes hand in hand with paying your bills early as well. So if you have bills, you want to make sure you pay them early. Make sure you keep your balances kind of low, and it'll make everything a lot easier to manage. But like I said, it's not 100% necessary to keep your utilization low on the business side. It can help you to get a higher Experian IntelliScore. All right, family, this is hack number 8 of the 17 business credit score hacks. All right, so you want to add your utility and your telco payments. So a lot of times when you have a bill as an entrepreneur and you're just starting your business and you're just starting to build business credit, you don't have any. So any payment experience that you have, any payment history, can actually help you to reach your goal of getting really high business credit scores. So if you can, I would like you to go and get accounts that actually report as far as your phone bills and your utility on the business side. So I would go to places like Ring Central, maybe if Ring Central still is reporting at this time, or another service that you know for sure is going to report to the business credit bureaus, because you're going to have a phone anyway. So you might as well get credit for it on your business credit report. And a lot of times with these phone bills and these utilities, they don't report unless you go negative. But if we're positive for 4 or 5 years, we want that to report as well. So go ahead and find accounts that actually report on the business credit side and only do business with them, because you got to have that service anyway, so you need to get credit for it. This is business credit hack number 9. What I want you to do is always go back and check the business credit reporting agencies. Check all of your information with them. If you have anything that's missing or misspelled, always make sure that you go and fix it, because on your applications, a lot of times your accounts might not report, and a lot of people are called and they ask, why my accounts aren't reporting before they sign up with us. And I'm like, well, how are you filling out your applications? Are you putting street here, STREET, and are you putting ST period over here? Little things like that can stop your accounts from reporting. So you want to make sure you update your information. If you change from an LLC to corporation, if you change phone numbers, addresses, number of employees, things like that, you always want to go back and change it. You don't always necessarily have to change your income, and you don't have to put your income on there. But if you do, make sure that when your income goes up, that you update it on there as well. Because if you do put your information on there and a lender looks it up, they will be able to see what you put there. So if your income goes up, then definitely put that. If you're going to use projected income, it should be fine. But if you use your actual income and you make like 100K last year, and then this year you make 250, you want to make sure you update that. So the best thing that I would recommend, the best practice, is to put a reminder in your calendar for you to go and update this at least quarterly, just to make sure all of your stuff is consistent and congruent. Just make sure that you go and update it, add in information, any missing information that's in there. All right, my friend, we coming to the end of this series. This is video number 10, hack number 10 of the 17 business credit score hacks. So if this is your first video that you've seen in this series, go back and watch the rest of them. But this one's going to be pretty simple, and I know it's going to be kind of obvious, but you want to make sure you don't get any liens or bankruptcies on your business credit report. Your business credit scores on Dun & Bradstreet only go from 1 to 100. So if you get a bankruptcy on the business side or any liens, it can drastically drop your score. And anything under 80 is not really considered that good. So in order to keep yourself from getting any bankruptcies, make sure that you're making your payments on time or early. I would prefer you make them early, but also put a calendar. I have a whole bunch of credit cards. So what I do is I create an Excel spreadsheet and I put down my due dates on there. Also, you can try to change your due dates. You can call them up and say, hey, I want my due dates to be on this day. And I would have your due dates for all of your accounts on 2 days out of the month. And on those 2 days, when those 2 days come up, you know it's time for you to make a payment. Versus you having 50 different accounts, or let's say even 10 different accounts, and you have 10 different due dates, and you got to pay 10 different times per month. It makes it a lot harder to track that stuff. It makes it easier for you to get a late payment, or easier for your business credit scores to go down because you forgot to pay early. So what I would do is make an Excel spreadsheet like I do. Put down your due dates, the name of the account, when it's due, how much you owe, what your balance is, what your credit limit is, things like that. I'll put all of that on a spreadsheet. So it's really, really simple. All you have to do is go in there, look at it, you know what you need to do next. And I would also put down when you make a payment, what date that was. Make sure you get your receipts. Make sure you keep all of your information. Always get your receipts on the business credit side. Because if your account doesn't report, you're going to have the proof showing, hey, I made this payment. Where's my credit for it? And you can mail that into them if you need to, or fax it into them, or email it. But you always want to make sure that you do that. Now, if you were for some reason to go late and go behind on your payments, you want to catch up as fast as you can, but also start building more credit on top of that. You know, your business credit scores are based off payment history. So if you have one little hiccup in your payment history, you can fix that. If you have 12 different hiccups, that's a different story. All right, my friend, this is hack number 11. We're almost finished with this series. If you have not seen hack 1 through 10, you need to go back on my page and watch those videos. They're all full of information that you're not just going to find all over the internet. We start off a little slow, but later on down the line, we progress into things that a lot of people are not talking about on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So hack number 11 is going to be that you want to avoid UCC filings and liens. Now, the way that you get a UCC filing is typically you're looking for a loan with a lender and you need some type of collateral. So let's say you have a G-Wagon. You got a paid off G-Wagon, it's worth $80,000, and you want to get a $50,000 loan or a line of credit. So what you do is you put that G-Wagon up as collateral. So they're going to use that and give you that loan because you're giving them collateral. So if you don't give them that money back, they can take that G-Wagon from you. So once you put that up as collateral and you're saying that this is my collateral in case I am not able to pay you back or I don't pay you back, you take this vehicle, they're going to put a UCC filing on your business or a lien on your business. So that way, if anybody else looks at your business, they can see that you have that lien. So one thing about that is that when you want to get another loan, if you try to use the same collateral, somebody else can see that. Also, if you're looking to get more funding and somebody looks up your business credit profile and they can see that you have that lien on there, they might not want to do business with you because they see that you have an open and active lien already. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting funding from multiple places. You just have to use a different piece of collateral. You can't use the same collateral for multiple different loans. There's a such thing as first position and second position as well. So a lot of times people will not want to take a second position. So let me break that down. First position will be, let's say you're looking for that same G-Wagon and you lend it out to one lender. That first lender is in the first position. Now, if you take that same G-Wagon and you want to lend it out to a second person, that person is going to be in the second position. So what that means is that if you do not pay that loan back or your business files bankruptcy, the person in the first position gets the first right to that asset, to that G-Wagon. So the person in the second position doesn't really get anything. They're just going to be stuck without anything. So most people will not want to take a second position on any type of loan or any type of line of credit because they can be the ones that's left without if anything happens, if you file bankruptcy or if you just decide not to pay. So UCC is called a UCC1 filing, and that'll stay in your business profile for up to 5 years. If you have like a 10-year loan or something like that, then the lender would have to just redo the UCC filing because they only stay on your business profile 5 years. So the way to get that removed is if you pay off the lender can file a UCC3, which can eliminate that debt and say that you've pretty much paid it off. Or they can just leave it on there, which you should get them to remove it. If you paid off your debt, they should give you credit for that and show that it's paid off on your business credit profile. All right, my friend, this is hack number 12 in the series of 17 hacks to really build your business credit scores. So if you're liking these videos, I need you to put business credit or put a money bag or put something in the comment section, something to let the social media platform know that this content is good, that you want to see more of it so you can see more of my videos, or so that it can show to more people as well. Because I'm giving away a lot of free information here that a lot of people aren't used to hearing or a lot of people aren't teaching online. So if you feel like it's valuable, if you feel like it helped you out or it can help someone else out, give me a like, share it, or put a comment in the comment section, or do all three, so that way we can get these videos out to more people. So hack number 12 in this series is going to be that you need to avoid lawsuits and also keep your workspace safe. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but on your business credit profile, people can see if you have a lawsuit. If you have a contract and in your contract says that you're going to do certain things, you need to make sure you honor that. Because if someone decides to sue you, that's going to show up in your business credit profile. Other people can see that. You don't want to have a lot of liens and a lot of nasty looking stuff on your business credit profile because it makes you look unprofessional. Now, you cannot avoid getting lawsuits. There's no way to 100% make sure that you can't get lawsuits because sometimes people are just out to get you. There's a lot of people that's litigious. A lot of people just prey on rich people. All they want to do instead of work, they just go after people that's making a lot of money, maybe get some kind of slip and fall accident, and they want to get that lawsuit against you so they can make a little bit of money. A lot of people are doing that just to make a living. So you can't really 100% avoid lawsuits, but if you have a contract, do everything you say that you're going to do in that contract. Be ethical and do what you say you're going to do. And also, you want to keep your workplace safe. So if you're in construction, so I come from the oil field, if you know my background. You know, I did road construction, I did foundation repair, I went straight to the oil field right after that before I got into entrepreneurship. Now, in the oil field, there were a lot of extension cables everywhere. There's plastic on the ground, there's mats on the ground. We're using stuff that's kind of similar to gasoline, and it's a very dangerous environment. If we were to have this extension cord in a place where somebody can't see it and they trip on it and get an accident, that could look bad for the business. So always having communication on your workspace will go a long way, making sure that you don't get any accidents. Keep your work area clean. Let everybody know that, hey, this is a wire right here. Watch where you're walking. I know it sounds simple. It sounds like you're talking to children, but sometimes that's what you have to do in order to keep your workplace safe. It will be better to over-communicate than to get a lawsuit and have that showing up on your business credit profile. So what I would always do is get a risk assessment done by your insurer, and also keeping your workplace safe, talking to your insurer and getting a risk assessment could also help you to get your workman's comp premiums a little lower as well. All right, my friends, so this is hack number 13. We almost finished. Like, all good things must come to an end. We're almost to the end of this series, but I got some bonuses for you at the end. So the hack number 13 is going to be keep your accounts out of collections. Now, I know that sounds simple. It sounds easy to do, but I want to tell you this. Quick story. I have a lot of businesses. I also have a lot of offices. With one of my virtual offices, it was set up on autopay. Now, I had an incident with my credit card where they sent me a little text message and I got a notification that some money was trying to be spent and it didn't look familiar to me. So I shut the card off. Completely forgot about it. Did not know that that one business was set up on that card for his virtual office, and that virtual office went into collections. It did not take 6, 7, 8, 9 months. It took 2 months, and it was already in collections. And I did not know. No one called me. No one emailed me and said, "Hey, you need to pay this account." I probably got an email that just went to spam, but I did not know. And just that fast, I had an account that went into collections. 1 to 2 months behind, and you can be in collections for an account. I'm a big teacher on keeping all of your stuff organized and in line. Like me personally, I have a lot of credit cards. So what I do is I have an Excel spreadsheet. I'll put down all of the credit cards on there, the due dates, how much the balance is, when it's due, how many points I have, how many points are pending, how much cash I have on those cards, cash back bonuses, whatever I have on there. I put all of it on that spreadsheet. So if I need to pay a bill, or I want to see what's going on, or if I want to strategically do something, liquidate my cards or whatever, all I have to do is go on that spreadsheet and say, this is this, this is that, this is that. It's all there in one spot. I would recommend you do the same thing with your business credit as well. If you have multiple different trade lines like I have a lot of them. So I will put those on the spreadsheet. If you using them, how much did you use? How much is your limit? How much do you have remaining? When are they due? You always want to pay before your due date. But I would have all of that stuff on the Excel spreadsheet to make everything super, super simple for you, because it's enough stress, it's enough work already running a business. You don't need to add extra work on top of that by having all of these accounts all over the place and not really knowing how to properly manage it. So put all your stuff on paper on the Excel spreadsheet so that you don't have the same issue happen to you. You want to make sure that your stuff is paid. I personally would try to get all of my due dates on 2 days of the month. 1 day toward the beginning, 1 day toward the end. So that way you know something's coming due around this time and around this time. You don't want to have due dates 4, 5, 6 times during the month, because now you're all over the place, you're working, you might forget that date. I do it all the time. When I get brand new credit cards, because I get them pretty often, and I don't change the due dates on them, I might get really, really close to that due date. I'm checking all the time because I don't want to get a late payment, but I might get really, really close to that due date. So be very, very organized with the accounts. And I have some notes set up right here because I want to give you accurate information, and I don't remember it off the top of my head. So if we're going to look at your Experian IntelliScore, your Experian Business Credit Score, 50 to 60% of your score is based off of your payment status, your trade balances, and the percent of accounts delinquent. That makes up 50 to 60% of your score. 10 to 15% is your credit utilization, and another 5 to 10% is your company profile, your age in business, your industry risk, and the size of your business makes up 5 to 10% of your score. Another 10 to 15% of your total score is based on collections, liens, judgments, and bankruptcies. So looking at it like that, 50 to 60% of your score is made up on delinquent accounts. 10 to 15% of your score is made up on derogatory items like collections, liens, judgments, and bankruptcies. Almost 3/4 of your score is based off of the accounts that's on your profile. Collections, late payments, your payment status, how late you are behind it, how much you have as your balance on those accounts. So you want to keep your balances kind of low. Now, a lot of people are not looking at this to see what's your utilization. If you have a $10,000 credit card and you use $10,000 of it, a lot of people aren't like, okay, well, you use $10,000, we won't give you any money. This is the business side. It's completely different from the personal, but it does factor into your business credit scores. So me personally, I look at my bank accounts every day. I want to see how much money is in there, what's going in, what's coming out. I want to be on top of that. And you should do the same thing as well with your business credit cards, with your business trade accounts, because this stuff is very sensitive. If you get an account that's negative on the business side, it's very hard to get it removed. I've heard it's very hard. I've heard it's very easy. I just would prefer not to find out. All right, my friend, hack number 14 in this series. If you're liking this information, like I said before in previous videos, like this, share this, comment, so that the platform knows to show it to you more often or to show it to more people. It's going to help me out, boost the algorithm up for me, and help me to get exposure to more people and give more people this free information. So hack number 14 is going to be avoiding credit increase on the personal side. Look, Richard, I know we're talking about business credit. I know, but having too many inquiries on the personal side can also lower your business credit scores as well. So I'm going to tell you the difference between a hard inquiry and a soft inquiry, because a lot of people don't know this. A hard inquiry is going to be when, for an example, you go to a dealership and they pull your credit for you to get a car. You're going to get like 10, 15, 20 inquiries. They're going to kill your credit score. I've had a client that came to us. We've completely cleaned all of their inquiries off the first month they were with us. When we uploaded their report again, they had 51 brand new inquiries because they went to try to apply for a car at 2 different places. 51 new inquiries, hard inquiries. Those hard inquiries drop your personal credit scores. Your personal credit scores on the Experian can drop your business credit scores as well. So if you know, like I know, if you know the tips and the tricks, when you get an inquiry, a hard inquiry on the personal side for business funding, you can always remove that inquiry. Your personal scores go back up, your business scores go back up, and your profile looks a lot cleaner. Now, a soft inquiry is going to be when, for instance, you check your own personal credit. If you go online and you look at your own personal credit score, that's considered a soft inquiry. So it doesn't hurt your personal credit score. You can leave those. Those are not going to show up at all. You don't have to remove them, and they're not going to have any kind of effect to your score. But having hard inquiries, anybody else looking at your personal credit, using their software, pulling it, giving you a hard inquiry, will drop your credit score, and it will stay on your credit report for up to 2 years. So avoid personal inquiries if you can. If you do need to get them and it's on the business side, then you can always remove them. But if you're checking your own credit, it does not hurt your credit for you to check your own credit. All right, my friend, this is hack number 15. We are almost to the end of the series, but I got some bonuses for you as well. So hack number 15 is keeping your personal utilization low. Now, once again, I know we're talking about business credit, but Experian is very, very sensitive. So if you have your utilization too high on the personal side, it'll drop your personal scores, and it can also drop your Experian business scores as well. There's also an SBSS score, which is a mixture of your business credit and your personal credit as well. So if your personal credit goes low because you over leveraged on your personal credit cards, your business scores can go lower as well. Your SBSS score will go lower as well. Your SBSS score is very important when you're trying to get lines of credit. Your Experian business credit score is important with some banks. Some lenders will look at it, some banks will not. So a tip that I like to give people is keep your utilization under 10%. There's also a thing called scattered revolving debt. So for instance, scattered revolving debt would say if you have 4 different credit cards and you have a balance on all 4 of those cards, that's called scattered revolving debt. It's revolving credit cards and there's scattered debt on all 4 of those cards. So what I want you to do instead is have a balance on only 1 or 2 of those cards. You want to pay down the other 2 cards completely and only have a balance of like 10% or less on those other 2 accounts. If you want to get the best funding possible, have 0 utilization, but up to 10% on no more than 2 cards will be fine. Now, if you have anything over that, it's considered scattered revolving debt. Anything over 30% will start dropping your score. Anything over 20% can start dropping your personal credit scores. So, just to put that in perspective, if you have a $100 credit card, which hopefully you don't, and you use 20% of it, that means that you've used $20 out of that $100 that you have on your credit card. Put that in more perspective, you have a $10,000 credit card, which hopefully you do. And on your $10,000 credit card, you have $2,000 used on it. You still use 20% of your available limit, which is 20% utilization. So you want to keep your utilization under 10%. You have a $100 card, only have it at 10%. If you have a $10,000 card, only keep it at $1,000. Keeping it under that 10% makes it look like you have a lot of money, but you don't need it, which is kind of a catch-22 in itself, or catch-21, whatever it is. But they want to see that you have the money and you don't need it. If you look like you need it, they're not going to want to give you more, because why would I want to give you more money if it looks like you need the money? I only want to give you money if you don't really need it. That way you can use it responsibly. But if you're in some type of financial situation where you're over leveraged in so many different areas and now you need to use this money to kind of fill in the gaps in other places, that sounds risky to me. I don't want to give you any money. But if you have this limit, like $10,000 limits on a personal side, and you're not really using it, it makes you look a little more responsible. So there's nothing wrong with using the card completely. Use it to a full $10,000, but pay it off before your statement date. When your due date comes up, it's probably, let's say, the 20th. Your statement date is probably the 23rd. You want to have that card paid down to that 10% or that 0% before your statement date. So I would pay it on your due date so that way it has time to report. And then on your statement date, it's going to show $0 or it's going to show 10%. Now, you've used it to the max, but it's going to go down and your utilization is not going to go up. Plus, this is another tip. I know this is a long video, but this is another tip. When you have a $10,000 limit on there and you use the full $10,000, but you pay it off, they can see that you used it. Now that looks good to you because you've used this money and you've paid it back. So if I've used it and paid it back responsibly, why not give me an increase? That's how they're going to think. So let them give you an increase. Use it, pay it back, be responsible, and let them increase it. So now that you have a higher personal credit card, they will give you higher business credit cards. So use your cards responsibly. Make sure you keep your utilization under 10% if you're looking for funding. Any other time, it doesn't matter. Your scores will go down, but when you're looking for funding, keep your cards under 10%. Don't have scattered revolving debt, and you'll be in a good position to get funding. All right, my friend, this is hack number 16. We are one away from finishing this series, but I got some bonuses for you. If you like this information, like it, share it, comment on it so other people can see it, so the platform can show it to more people, and so you can see more of my videos as well. So hack number 16. Keep your debts low and don't be over leveraged. Now, I mentioned something like this before, but what I mean is, if you have all of these credit cards, if you have all of these accounts, do not be over leveraged. Always have some money on the side. Like I mentioned before, if you have a line of credit and it's $50,000, to the bank, that's nice. But if you use the full $50,000 and now you don't have any money left over, your bank account doesn't have any money in it, you're over leveraged. You look risky. So when you try to go back for a credit card, they might not approve you because you've already maxed out your line of credit. You're only making minimum payments. You don't really have any money in the bank account. Why would I want to give you more money so you can max that card out and not pay me back? That's how they're going to think. So what I need you to do instead is use a little bit of the money from your line of credit. Keep some in there. You can actually cycle that money through your bank account if you want. Take the money from your line of credit and deposit it into your bank account and just leave it in there. If you're not using it, at least you have some money in the bank account. It doesn't make you look like you're over leveraged. It makes you look like you have some reserves. You have this capital in your bank account that you're ready to deploy when you need to. When you want to invest it in something, it's there. But you have it as reserves in your line of credit. Now, I'm not saying don't use your line of credit. I'm saying use it, but also, if you can, keep some in there for capital reserves. So the bank feels less risky when they look at your profile. When they're looking at you and you're applying for a credit card, you look less risky because you have some money still left in the account. If you look 100% drained, they will not want to give you money. You look like you're desperate for money. Why would I want to give you more money if you look like you're over leveraged? So DNB's pay that score actually looks at the percentage or the probability that your business is going to go bankrupt. Between that 1 to 100 range that your payback score can go to, 80 or more means that your business might not go bankrupt anytime soon. Less than that means that your business could go bankrupt sometime soon. So the way it can look like you're going to go bankrupt is if you're over leveraged. Being over leveraged can drop your DNB score, your payback score, and your experience score as well. All right, my friend, you've made it to the end. This is hack number 17. Now, technically, this is the end of this series, but I do have some bonuses for you. So stay tuned. Make sure you have your notifications on, so if I post another video or I post a reel, you'll get that content, you'll get notified. So hack number 17 is you want to increase your most recent high credit used. So what that means is, like I mentioned before, you have a $10,000 credit card and you max it out, but you pay it back. Now they can see that you've used that card and you've been responsible with it. They can give you an increase now. If you have a $10,000 credit card and the most you've used is $100 or $150, when you're trying to get an increase, they will not give it to you. Why do you need an increase? You're only using $100. You obviously don't need it at all. We can't say that you're responsible with it because you're not using it. So instead, use it completely, max it out. This is the business side. They expect you to use it. They just expect you to pay it back responsibly as well. So use the card 100%, max it out, but make sure you pay it back down. So that way they can see that you've used the maximum limit on that card and you've been responsible with it. A lot of times the lenders are going to base how much money to give you based off how much you're spending. So you can actually get approvals based on just your spending limits. If you had your credit bureaus locked to where nobody can pull it and give you a hard inquiry, when you're trying to get an increase, you can say, can you see if you can base it off my spending habits? If I have a $10,000 card and I max it out and pay it off and max it out and pay it off and max it out and pay it off 3 times in the same month, why would they not want to give me more money? Obviously, I'm being very responsible with it. I have the cash flow to be able to manage that card. Now, the only issue is I don't have enough money. Obviously, I'm being responsible. Obviously, I'm paying it back. So they will give you an increase. So that's one of the tips that I want to give you in order to increase your limits on your business cards as well as your personal. It kind of works the same way. If you max your card out and pay it back, now they can see your highest credit used is the maximum amount and your balance is less than 10%, like I told you before. Why would they not want to give you an increase? If you max your card out and you still have it at 100% utilization or 90 or 80, I would not want to give you any money. Think about it. If you have a tab open with somebody and you say, hey, I got $10,000 for you to use. This is the only $10,000 I can give you, but use it whenever you need it. And they use $8,000 with you. They take $8,000 out of that $10,000 that you allow them to have. And in 3 months, they're barely paying it back. They're not trying to pay it down completely. They just give you the bare minimum payments. And then they're going to say, hey, can you give me 15 instead of 10? Can you give me 20 instead of 10? You're going to look at them and say, I don't know about that one, buddy. How about you pay this down first, and then we can talk about increasing it. Obviously, you don't have the money to pay it off. Why would I give you more money and I'll be in debt to you, or I'll be in the hole because you can't afford to pay me back? That's exactly how the lenders are going to look at it. If you have all of this debt, pay it off. If you can really manage it, then pay it off. Prove it to me. That's what they're going to say. Prove it to me that you can actually manage this. And once you prove that you can manage it and you be faithful with little, they will make you faithful with much. So if you couple that together with all of the other hacks that we talked about, keeping utilization low, keeping your scores high, you will be on the road to financial freedom, to funding freedom. You'll be able to open doors for funding and fund any business that you want to fund. Get any kind of credit cards you want to get, as long as your personal credit profile is intact, as long as your business credit profile is intact, and you follow all of these steps, funding can be unlimited. All right, my friend, you finished the 17 hacks to boost your business credit scores, but now I'm going to give you some bonuses. This is hack number 18. If you like this content, share it, like it, comment in the comment section, put business credit, put the money bags, join me for $1 Million Mondays, but show the platform, show Instagram, show YouTube, show Facebook that you like this type of content. So this content can be showed to more people. I'm giving away a lot of free game here, and I'm not begging you for likes. I don't really like the likes. I can do without it, but people will not see it if you don't like it, share it, and comment on it. So if you can, just for me, like it, share it, comment on it, so the platform can show it to more people. But your bonus hack number 18 is use your credit often. Now, your business credit profile is based on a lot of things, but one thing that's very important is your payment experiences. What that means is the amount of times that you use the credit. If you have one account that reports to all 3 business credit bureaus and you use it one time, you have 3 payment experiences. What I want you to do is use those accounts often, so that way you have more and more and more experiences. When you have more and more experiences and they pull your business credit profile and they can see, wow, you've used this multiple times, you've paid it off, make sure you pay it off in full every month, make sure you pay it early, keep your scores high, and follow all the hacks that we did before, it's going to be really, really easy for people to give you funding because they can see your track record. They can see that you're using these accounts multiple times. You're paying it back and you're being very responsible. And you're just racking up those payment experiences. Those experiences are very, very important, and it will help you get a lot of approvals a lot easier in the future. Bonus hack number 19. If you've seen the rest of these videos, congratulations, you're a lot smarter than 90% of the people on YouTube. If you have not, go back and watch this series from beginning to end. We start off a little slow, but we get more and more detailed as we go through. This is really like a little mini course. So I would definitely go back and rewatch these content. Also, if you like it, share it and comment on it so that the platforms can see that you actually like this information. We want more of this content to be showed to you, and also it can show my videos to more people. Don't forget, I don't talk about it too often, but I do have a free Facebook group. Sometimes I go in there and I drop little gems in there. I do free live streams in there, and I don't do it on all the rest of the platforms just because I have a network of people who are specifically interested in what I have to offer or what I have to teach. So if you want to get into that free Facebook group, just click the link in my bio and look for the word Facebook group. Click it, fill out the questions, and somebody from my team will allow you into the group. But your bonus hack number 19 is you want to monitor your business credit. Now, look, when you start with us, when you sign up with us and you're building your business credit profile, this is one of the first steps. You have to monitor your business credit, just like you want to monitor your personal credit as well. A lot of times when you get these accounts, they might not actually report. You have to monitor it, make sure that they report, and then if they don't report, then you need to contact them. Keep your receipts and show it to them, fax it to them, email it to them, and say, hey, I paid this, why aren't y'all reporting? And what I would recommend is that you get an account with NAV. The account that I use with NAV is like $60 a month. I think it's called a loan booster. I think it's their highest one. What that gives you is your personal credit scores. It's the Vantage scores, not the FICO score. It also gives you your business credit scores, and it gives you the SBSS score, which I mentioned before is like a mixture of your personal and your business credit. You really want to monitor all of this stuff. It's very, very important. Just like on the personal side, things can just pop up for no reason, and it can affect you negatively. On the business side, things might not pop up, which can also affect you negatively. I can't tell you how many times people have talked to me, and they're like, man, I spent 2 years paying on this account, getting all of these things with this account, spending thousands and thousands of dollars a month, and none of it got reported. because they're not monitoring your business credit report. It makes no sense. Why would I spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month, even though I have to use it, but with the mindset that I'm going to build my business credit, but I'm not going to monitor it? It makes no sense. You have to monitor your business credit as well. Just like you monitor your bank account, just like you monitor your finances, or you should monitor that stuff, you should monitor your business credit as well. All right, my friend, this is your last bonus hack of this series. I know initially we had 17 hacks, but I gave you a couple of bonuses. This is hack number 20. This is a bonus number 3. If you like this information, like it, share it, comment on it. Let the platforms know that you're interested in this, and also it can show my videos to other people as well. Your bonus hack number 20, is going to be disputing errors on your business credit reports. So like I mentioned before in one of the other hacks, if you have not watched them, go back and watch all of these videos in this hack series. It's really like a little mini course, and a lot of people don't talk about this stuff online. So like I mentioned before, I have a lot of businesses, and one of them had a virtual office. My card, I ended up cutting it off, and without remembering, I had a business just lingering on the side that had an office, and the office was not getting paid for. I was not getting phone calls. No one told me that it wasn't getting paid. 2 months went by, and I realized that I had a negative remark on my business credit profile. I applied for funding with that business, not knowing that was there. I was supposed to get $150,000. I got $4,000 because I had that negative remark on my business profile, and I did not know. No one told me anything. It's since been resolved, but you do not want to have those negative remarks on your profile. If you do, contact those people. Pay it off. The tricky thing about it is that the accounts that you get on the business credit side, when you're monitoring your business credit, you'll see that if you have an account with Uline, which a lot of people know about, your business credit report will not say Uline on it. It will say packaging, or it will say hardware. It will say something like that, or furniture. So you should monitor your business credit accounts, just like I mentioned before in one of the other hacks. You should have an Excel spreadsheet that shows the name of the account, how much your limit is with it, when your payment is due. I would also check off when did you pay, if you have a balance, do you have points. I would write all of that stuff down on that Excel spreadsheet. So anytime I have any doubts, I can go back and say, oh, did I pay this? Let me go back and look at my spreadsheet. Always have that stuff organized. It might sound like it's hard. It's going to be a little bit at first, but everything is hard at first. It's going to get easier. All you have to do is set up the foundation, just like when you lay the foundation to build your business credit profile. You lay the foundation of the house. Everything else can go faster after that. But when you have that stuff on the Excel spreadsheet and you know what your payments are, when you look at your report and you see, oh, I have a negative payment, or I have late payment, and you can't tell what's the name of the company, because if you have Home Depot, Uline, Lowe's, it's all going to say packaging. It's all going to say hardware. So you're not going to know which one it is. But if you have on that spreadsheet how much your payments are, when it's due, and you look at your business credit report and you see how much is due, now you know. Now you can see that this account was negative. This must be this account because this is when I was supposed to pay it. So now that you have all of that stuff laid out, it's all organized, now you can go ahead and pay it and reach out to them and tell them, hey, this might be inaccurate. Or you know that you paid it and you marked it down in your spreadsheet, so you know that you paid it. You have the receipt. Now you need to reach out to them and say, hey, I didn't miss this payment. I have the receipt right here. I marked it down when I paid it. This is my bank statement. This is my credit card statement. This is when I paid it. You need to have that stuff down, because sometimes on the business credit side, things can get reported inaccurately, just like on the personal credit side as well. You always want to monitor that. And if you feel like it's inaccurate, just like on the personal side, you want to dispute it as well.